Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz. Balita, impormasyon at musika. AM at FM pinagsama. Ito ang Katropa Radio. Iba tayo.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa 1134 kHz. DWDD Katropa Radio. Iba tayo. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz Katropa Radio. Iba tayo!
Minsay isang aklat lang ang iyong dala. Minsay wala naman pero papasok pa. Kahit anong mangyari ay tuloy-tuloy ka lang. Basta't kami mayroong natututunan. Minsan ay kay saya ng iyong pagtuturo. Minsa'y nakakatakot pag mainit ang ulo. Ngunit kahit ano pa ang ugali mo, basta't kami tiyak na natututo. O guru ko, o guru ko, ang iyong tungkulin ay di gawang biro. Ngunit ako'y bilib sa'yo, dahil sa'yo buoti ko'y tumatalino. Minsan sa klase mo ako'y nababagot, dahil kay daming sermon ang inaabot. Ngunit nalaman ko kaya pala ganon, ika'y pangalawang magulang ko. O guru ko, o guru ko, ang iyong tungkulin ay di gawang biro. Ngunit ako'y bilib sa'yo, dahil sa'yo kukote ko'y tumatalino. Ang aral mong dulot sa'kin, puhunan ko sa pagdating ng hamon ng bukas, aking mararating. O guru ko, o guru ko, ang iyong tungkulin ay di gawang biro. Ngunit ako'y bilib sa'yo, dahil sa'yo pukote ko'y tumatalino. O guru ko, o guru ko, dahil sa'yo pukote ko'y tumatalino.
Good afternoon to all of our listeners here at DWDD Katropa Radio. You are listening to your favorite Sunday afternoon habit, the voice of the teachers. And in behalf of Dr. Ray Samson, I am your host, Bobby Ancheta. And with me are your indefatigable co-hosts. Andito ang Master Trainer ng Bayan, Gerald Gala.
Nax Master Trainer. Blessed afternoon, fellow educators. Welcome to Voice of the Teachers, the weekly show that aims to inform, inspire, and empower our educators both in the formal, non-formal, and informal sectors. O nga mga katropa, you can tune in at DWDD Katropa Radio 1134 kHz AM band, or better yet, watch us on Katropa DWDD's virtual TV on Facebook. Just look for Katropa DWDD CRS Virtual RTV. You may also join us in the discussion by posting your questions dito mismo sa Facebook Live ng Katropa DWDD.
We are very, very proud to say that we are the only radio program for teachers, by teachers, and with teachers. Okay, at dito rin kasama natin ang ating bubbly teacher, our language specialist, si Jet Ramos.
Yes. Yeah, good afternoon po mga katropa at sa lahat ng mga nakikinig at mga nag-share po ng ating videos and updates.
We are also very happy to welcome our newest member of our team who will be hosting our
newest segment.
My God segment.
Yes.
Oh my God as in GAD, which stands for
Gender and Development.
We would like to welcome our katropa, Giselle Barion.
Hi, good afternoon mga katropa. Later on, you will be joining me for the second segment of the show.
Yes, so welcome to the show. Welcome.
Yes, I'm excited.
We're very happy at in-accept mo yung aming invitation to join us.
I'm actually excited for this opportunity.
Yes.
Before we begin our show this afternoon, we would like to greet a very happy birthday. Belated happy birthday to Major Alwin Maneja, who
Yes.
celebrated his birthday
Yes.
yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Looking young.
birthday.
Happy birthday, sir.
Young and healthy.
And we would also like to thank the directorate of the AFP.
Yes, on behalf of the BOTT team, we would like to greet the following AFP personalities. Isa-isa na natin, si AFP General Carlito Galvez, Mayor General Bienvenido Datuin, he is the Commander Civil Relations Service of AFP, Colonel Noel de la Cruz, Chief of Staff, CRS AFP, Major Alwin Maneja, the birthday boy, Group Commander of the Media Civil Relations Affairs Group, and Captain Aladin Almendras, Deputy Commander of the Media Civil Relations Affairs Group. Kumusta na, Bob?
We have a full day this afternoon. We have a full afternoon, siksik yung discussion natin. But
Yes.
before we go to our discussions this afternoon, good news. Ang sabi ni Secretary Leonor Briones, meron daw increase sa allowance ng mga teachers.
Oh, mabuti
Wow.
naman.
Okay,
Long
so-
It's
overdue.
good news.
Yes.
Breakthrough.
She said that it's not going to be salary increase, but it is going to be more of an increase in their allowances and bonuses. So, to talk more about updates coming from the DepEd and the CHED, I'd like to turn over the microphone to the bubbly Katropa Jet Ramos.
Yes, thank you very much mga katropa. So here are our CHED updates as well as DepEd updates for this week. As part of the city's efforts to assist approximately 12,000 teachers and non-teaching staff financially, Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio has urged the Davao chapter of the Alliance of Concerned Teachers to propose long-term and feasible solutions in order to assist especially teachers who have had loans for various reasons. The second update is Save the Philippines, an advocacy group headed by former Undersecretary of DepEd Albert Muyot, praised Filipino teachers, especially approximately 700,000 public school educators, for their dedication and loyalty in teaching Filipino children. Third update. DepEd Undersecretary for Administration Elaine Del Pascua has recently announced that DepEd will have completed its inspection of public schools by the end of the year. This is in order to ensure the safety of every edifice, especially those that are located in areas such as the Cordilleras and other calamity-prone areas. And ang Education Representative Salvador Belaro has proposed that the DSWD, or Department of Social Welfare and Development, provide indigent and or displaced students with emergency financial aid so that they would not be dropping out of college due to financial reasons. And this is also an action that must be done according to Representative Belaro. It should be done by CHED and other organizations composed of tertiary educational institutions so that they would assist students with financial needs, especially those who have been displaced by calamities such as the recent typhoon Ompong. So these updates will be posted on the Facebook page of Voice of the Teachers Multimedia. Kaya libre po kayong i-share at i-like po ang aming mga updates. Maraming salamat po.
Okay. Before we proceed with our next segment this afternoon, I would just like to greet and congratulate also Dr. Ray Samson sa kanyang trip. He just came from Australia, if I'm not mistaken.
Oy,
Yes.
pasalubong.
Dr. Ray, we hope to find you very, very soon with us here at DWDD Katropa Radio sa iyong radio program na The Voice of the Teachers. Lumalago na tayo, dumadami na yung members ng team natin, and we have already also increased a good number of co-hosts na rin who are
Wow.
taking charge of the different segments. This afternoon,
Yes.
we're going to be launching our latest segment, which is also very, very much in line with the government's program on gender and development. Later on, we will discuss kung ano ba ang gender and development and why it's very important na isa sa mga programa ng ating gobyerno.
Opo.
But before that, I'd like to to greet yung fellow host natin, si Professor Juan Apolinario Reyes. Hi there. More power daw sa grupo natin. Thank you for watching, Professor Paul.
Congratulations din kay Teacher Jeff Medes.
Oh.
Tawag ng tanghalan.
yes.
Wow.
Remember?
Yes. Congratulations. And kanina, sa yung AFP personalities natin, I would like to thank them very much for providing us a platform where we can voice out the concerns of our fellow educators. Mga katropa, please continue supporting our troops. And isa sa mga sponsors natin, we would like to thank our sponsors for our VOTT mugs na napakaganda mugs na to. Napaka-vivid
The Asian Psychological Services and Assessment. Thank you very
otherwise known
much.
as APSA. Hello to their CEO, Miss Liberty Nolasco.
And they have an event
Yes, ito nga eh.
later on this month.
Correct. And their business development head, Miss Adelaida De Perio. They also, sabi mga may event sila, it's called the Principal Circle of the Philippines, 12th Annual Convention on October 25 to 26 at the Hotel Gen Manila, Rojas Boulevard, Pasay City. So kung may questions kayo for your inquiries, you may contact them at 525-7277 or at 527-1901 or email them at apsa1281@yahoo.com and look for either Miss Teng, Miss Liwai, Miss Jen, or Miss Hendrick. Yan.
Okay, so we will now proceed to our first segment. This is the first Sunday of the month of October, and eto na naman ang ating TLC. Tender Loving
Loving
Care.
Care.
It also means
The learning curve. Yes. But before that, I'd like to spread the word na muna. We have a good news for you mga katropa and fellow educators. We at the Voice of the Teachers Multimedia is pleased to announce a weekly promo starting today for all of our listeners and viewers out there. It's called Fit ang Teacher Ko promo, where we'll be giving away one Slimmers World gift certificate worth 1,500 pesos every week. So, gawing habit na talaga yung pakikinig at panonood dito sa Voice of the Teachers. With this, you may avail any of the following: either a one-day trial gym workout and or one session of dance fitness class. Isang araw yun, sige magsawa ka doon sa gym. Or one session of diamond peel, o may skincare din. Or one session of a slimming treatment. Pero syempre kung ikaw yung manalo, for consultation na muna sa mga sales consultants sila doon to check if bagay sa kanila yung service na gusto nilang i-avail. This is only for new guests, non-members or non-clients of Slimmers World. So kung client ka na nila, member ka na nila, hindi ka na pwedeng sumali rito. Pero makinig ka na rin sa amin. Pwede naman yun. Walang magbabawal sa'yo. How to win? After today's show, we'll be posting a question that's related to any of our topics. The first to post the correct and complete answers wins. Nag-brainstorm kami dito ni Giselle, no? A few nights ago. But first, you have to like the Facebook pages of Katropa DWDD CRS Virtual RTV at of course yung Voice of the Teachers Multimedia.
Okay,
Now,
so please take note kung ano yung mechanics. Because if you don't follow the instructions, just like what teachers tell you to do during examinations, you will not be qualified sa aming prize.
Oo, sayang naman. 1,500 din ito worth of services. Sinong pwede sumali? All listeners and all viewers like teachers, soldiers, professionals, etc. of Voice of the Teachers Multimedia. Except kami, the host. And members of our gym.
Unfortunately.
Teacher Jeff,
Tama,
dahil
Kuya
kami pa naman
Bobby.
sana ang dapat na maging fit.
Tama. Pero tayo getting there naman.
Hingi tayo kasi I'm a lifetime member of Slimmers World. So hingi tayo ng para complimentary gift checks for us. No? Winners will be notified via Facebook Messenger. Kung kayo pong mapalad na mananalo and you are from Metro Manila, you will be invited to claim your gift certificate here at the station on the first Sunday of the following month during our show.
Yes.
Of course, this is after providing sufficient proof of identification na kayo ngayon. No? Kung kayo naman po ay taga-probinsya, we'll be sending the gift certificate to you via courier after receiving your scanned proof of identification. You can send them to the email address that we'll be providing later after the show. So always visit our Facebook page for more updates. Ako, I firmly believe that health is wealth talaga.
True.
And that our teachers should take care of themselves first so that they can effectively take care of others. How can we take care of others? Children, tayo pa naman yung pangalawang magulang nila if we cannot even take care of ourselves.
That's
Right.
Paano na kapag nagkasakit tayo? Sino gagawa na nun? So, antabayanan nyo lamang po ang question na ipopost namin mamaya. Of course, you'll be able to answer the question if you're watching or listening right now to the show today. Kasi ngayon namin masasabi yung sagot. Ngayon yung malalaman ang sagot. Okay? Join na.
Yes.
By the way, I would just like to add that this is also Slimmer's World's tribute to the teachers.
Oo.
Yeah.
Just celebrated the World Teachers Day
Yes.
last October 5.
Correct.
Yes.
And we launched this program last Monday,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. It's a continuation lang to na sinasabi din ng Teachers World na sana teachers should really take care of themselves.
That's
because
right.
our only wealth, aside from our knowledge, is our health.
Yes.
Correct.
And by the way, I read an article on burnout. If we do not curb it, then we tend to suffer from life-threatening diseases like diabetes and pneumonia and even heart failure and
And
others.
Depression can,
Yeah.
can also be a result of
Yes,
that one.
depression too, Kuya Bobby.
And
You're
how
right.
do we fight that one? By exercising.
Yes.
Because it produces serotonin.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
The happy, ano ba yung tawag?
Enzyme.
Happy hormone.
Happy hormone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So pag naglalakad po kayo mahaba, walang elevator, mapalad po kayo because you get to exercise your body.
Right.
Ganyan si,
Yes.
si Teacher Jet, no? He
Yes.
gave up smoking ng ilang months na.
And 1 year na at saka
1 year pala.
di na po
Congrats.
masyado nagsa-soft drinks kaya.
Tapos naglalakad-lakad na siya.
Yeah.
No? Sige, sige.
Okay.
Sige.
We only have 78 more days to go before
Christmas.
Christmas.
Ang bilis.
Ang
Yun.
bilis, no?
To be exact, 78 days, 10 hours, and 39 minutes.
Very accurate.
And 12 seconds.
Brought to you
exact.
by Infinity Van. And of course, the AFP DWDD Katropa Radio.
Yes. So, punta na lang sa segment natin.
Yes.
Our first segment for today is The Learning Curve, or TLC, hosted, of course, by yours truly, corporate trainer Gerald Galang. My segment features educators from both the non-formal and informal sectors, including the courses or the services that they offer. But before that, allow me to share with you a very short trivia on HR. Para pareho tayong mamaya
Yes,
meron.
go.
Did you know that before human resources management was introduced, there was only personnel management? According to Creative HRM, personnel management was only concerned with basic HR functions such as handling employees' files and keeping files and processes compliant with the legislation. Ganun lang kasimple ang HR noon. Because of the increased competition in the market, it later on evolved into what we now know as human resources management, which is a more multifaceted field.
Wow.
Sabi nga, no?
And this time around, it even has evolved to people management.
Oh, yes.
Talent, human capital management, people management.
Correct.
So, nag-i-evolve na talaga
Nag-evolve
yung
talaga
concept.
siya. oo.
Yo.
And speaking of HR, our topic for today will be about a book entitled, ang ganda ng title niya, The HR Compass. And what does a compass signify? Para siyang guide. di ba?
Yes.
Yes.
This book can serve as your guide because it features the 7 steps to starting your HR department. 7 steps to starting your HR department. The best person who can talk about this is, of course, the author himself, who is also the managing director and chief executive officer of Talent Reach Consultancy. Yun nabanggit mo nga, talent,
Yes.
diba? Talent management. Mga katropa, let us all welcome Mr. Ronaldo Turla.
Hello.
Yes.
Good
Hello.
afternoon.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me, and it's an opportunity to be here with you.
Yes. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation.
Timing, Gerald, because, teachers also need to be, hindi naman managed, pero I think this is one of the things na medyo nakaligtaan ng mga school managers natin. Teachers need to be given the right treatment, training,
Yeah.
management sa kanilang
Correct.
skills,
Yes.
even their mindsets and so on, yung mental health nila.
Evaluation too.
Yes. So eto, we're very, very happy that we have a resource person who can also bridge the discussion
Correct.
on school management and also HR.
Sige. Tell us about your book, Mr. Ronaldo Turla.
Well, yeah. Thank you for again for the opportunity to be here. Yung book of the HR Compass, I brought 2 copies for both
Yay.
Gerald and I. So
Yay.
yung book came about because of my my passion to be able to help the small to medium entrepreneurs, which I started when I was doing my consultancy. And
This was when?
2008. So I started my consulting
10
journey
years
since
ago.
then.
10 years.
So from there, I started helping business owners help start their HR department. So most of the time, they will ask me questions on how to handle their people, what are the right benefits, which are the correct labor standards, for example. So normally they will have some problems or issues that they will bring to my attention. And then from there, I started answering those questions. So from that point, since I started consulting, I was able to help. For the record, I was able to help 35 SMEs already for the past 10 years. So at least that was my effort of helping them be able to comply the labor standards, at the same time manage their people in the right manner. So coming from my background of my history kasi is I came from the corporate setting, so I had a corporate HR experience for 11 years, and then I started discovering na there's a world after corporate, no? So I jumped into it, and initially I felt a little bit anxious kasi sabi ko, how can I sustain this? No? So and so far, after so many years, no, I decided and took the courage to actually write a book on what I'm doing, because for so many years I was also afraid of coming up with my own, because it was a first time to be able to launch something in the field of HR. I've observed kasi na not so many people write books. People are speaking, doing seminars, but not a lot are writing something about HR. So I hope that this publication, since I also created my own publishing company with the intention of actually in the next 5 years, my vision is to come up with other books related to HR, particularly managing, because I've seen entrepreneurs, for example, struggle with how to motivate, how to manage their employees. So I'd like to put a local flavor to it, no? Because a lot of our publications are really Western. No? So I'd like to put the local touch, no? Because I think it's very timely, because Philippines is a very growing economy. No? So I think people are noticing us. So I think this is the right time to to teach the right people on how to manage people, because yun yung isang malaking challenge, no, when it comes to workplace, no, how to manage people. A lot of managers, for example, have different styles, have different mindsets. So hopefully through my book, which I've written, it should start parang changing yung kung ano yung tamang way, no? At least the HR way, as they say. Yeah.
I'm really going to be getting a copy of this one, Gerald.
Kailangan
A few
natin yan.
days ago, in fact, a few weeks ago, I have been browsing again on how to get certified as an HR professional. So, because coming from an education background and then shifting to HR, ang dami kong tanong, how do you begin? How do you begin operating in the HR department? What are the things that
Lalo
you
sa inyo,
need to
medyo
know?
lean and mean yung sa department
Yes,
no?
because we are a small company, but when you progress, lalaki na din yung needs, ang dami mo rin gagawin. It's not only recruitment and selection.
Right.
It's also the maintenance of your team. It's also keeping them engaged. I'm sorry. And I think this is also another issue for teachers. How do you maintain and how do you keep your teachers engaged?
Yes.
Kasi karamihan sa kanila ginagawa lesson planning and so on.
True.
And that is really the one that is giving them the burnout.
Yes, taxing, very taxing on
Yes.
their part.
So paano, how do you keep them engaged? How do you keep them alive and kicking? How do you make them enjoy their job? Sabi nga minsan na teaching is a thankless job.
Yes.
But it's really
Yeah.
one of the needs.
Yeah.
The teachers nga are the cradles of our future, because they are the molders of the minds of our future. As
Of
we
our
say,
future.
our children are our future, and who molds the minds, the character,
Who else but the
value
teachers,
system,
diba?
but the teachers.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. How will this help the common entrepreneur and
Okay.
a lowly HR staff?
Yung book itself is very very short and very concise in terms of how to be able to start or at least manage their HR department. So I broke it down into 7 steps. No? So
okay.
the 7 steps are actually what I did for the past 8 or 9 years. No? So helping them establish their own HR department. So for every step, there are procedures that you need to follow. So the steps are answered by the questions. No? So I phrase the step by a question, and then after the question, the answer is revealed in terms of the book. So the additional thing with this one is I'm also attaching a list of forms for every step. So once you get the book, this month, October, I'm going to release the appendices or the forms. So
Wow.
Okay.
those who purchase the book will actually be able to access the forms
Galing,
and should be able to help at least start up somebody, for example, to follow step number 1, for example, or step number 2. So for me, I put it as steps because it's easier to follow if it's steps. So meaning that you just have to follow, step number 1, make sure that everything has been in place. No? So particularly step number 1 is one of the key, no? Especially if you're in HR, which is knowing what labor laws applies to you. No? So
that's step number 1.
Step number 1. So it's very important because I've noticed over so many years that a lot of employers or entrepreneurs don't really know what labor laws apply to me. No? Because every now and then they will ask me, does this apply to me? Does the minimum wage apply to me? Do I have to follow it? Do I have to give this benefit, like the overtime, the service incentive leave, etc.? So these are things that a common entrepreneur doesn't really know. So they need somebody, at least somebody who knows the labor code, for example. And this is the right timing for HR. So HR is supposed to be knowledgeable about the labor code. So in the book, I distilled the basic minimum of everything that, at least on the local setting, because a lot of books normally will give you international or Western settings.
Yeah.
This one has the local flavor of what should be nga no? So,
ulitin nga natin yung number 1.
Number 1 is
Nakinig
labor
po tayo,
standards.
ha? Okay.
Yep.
Labor standards.
Know which labor laws applies to you. So that's number 1.
Okay.
Step
Yes.
number 2
Know what labor
is
laws apply to you.
Yes. Then second, determine what to pay your employees.
What to
Yes.
pay.
Yes. So
your
for
employees.
number 2, I discussed naman the different things that you could provide to your employees in terms of the aspect of pay. No? This
Aspect of pay.
includes overtime,
Yeah.
holiday pay, etc. So everything that the law prescribes. No? So
Including the benefits, no?
yes.
So hindi lang siya sa salary lang, hindi
yes.
siya
So
monetary
for this
lang.
one, I gave illustrations on how to compute. So so there are examples there of how you'll be able to compute. So it should make the life of the HR easier. No? At least informing his or her boss about how to compute. No? So that's number 2. So in number 3, I broke down naman what benefits should you offer to your employees. No? Because in terms of benefits, technically there are 2 types of benefits that an employer can provide. There are what's called statutory and then company sponsored.
Okay.
So in the book, I gave suggestions on company sponsored, but I focus more on the statutory.
Okay.
Because
So
most
yung
of-
number 2 mo is yun yung monetary.
Monetary.
Number 3 yan yung benefits talaga.
benefits.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
Benefits.
broke down the benefits in terms of what you can provide at the minimum for your employees.
Okay.
No? And then, of course, if you'd like to know more about the other benefits, you can actually also look to my page. No? Then I release some information about it. No? Yeah. So that's step number 3. And then step number 4, if you right, no?
Go.
Step number 4 is how to find your new employees to join your company. This is about recruitment.
Recruitment.
So how do you properly recruit employees? So what are the things
screen.
how do you screen? So I gave their tips and pointers on how to interview, what to use, what are the things that you need to do prior to employment. So more or less, it's a concise guide for the employer in terms
Okay.
of how to hire a person. Yeah. So step number 5 goes to training your employees. So how to
Training your
train your
employees.
employees.
How to
So
train your employees.
for this one, I emphasize the importance of having a good employee orientation because that's where it starts.
Yes.
How you
That's where you
tell-
build up the company.
Yes,
no?
how you build up the company, how you tell what are the policies, rules, and regulations.
Code of
Shape-
conduct.
Code of conduct.
Core values.
This is where you shape the behavior of the person
Yeah.
because you're telling the person this is how we should conduct
Correct.
ourselves
Yes.
in the organization. So in this one, I also emphasize the importance of investing in your employees' development. No? So not just the orientation, but at the same time, you can allow your employees to actually be trained.
Yes.
No? Either company sponsored or you allow them to also attend public seminars. So this is something that will more or less motivate them to stay.
Yeah.
At the same time, give them that kind of development.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's step number 5. And then step number 6 talks about how to lead and motivate your people. So I focus here naman the aspect of performance appraisals, the importance of it, and also employee discipline. So both of them are components of your basic startup HR, which you have to put into place so that more or less people will know that for every actions there are consequences. No?
Consequences.
If you do well, then there should be a reward, for you.
yeah.
But if you
Incentive.
do something quite negative
May
or
penalty
something,
naman.
there should be some
Or
correction
sanction,
for you. So
Yes, consequences.
in step number 6, I gave also examples of how they can apply the disciplinary approach. No? So I gave the pointers of what's the importance of a written warning, what's a suspension, what's termination. So But this one, I put a touch of HR, not on the legal side. So when you read it, it's as if you're not listening to a lawyer, you're listening to an HR person speaking to you. Okay? So I put that kind of a way of writing so that people will not get intimidated.
Correct.
Because
Right.
I've received a lot of feedback sometimes that, of course, when lawyers write and even talk, they can be intimidating, especially when you
Yes.
talk about sanctions or penalties, for example. So it's different when an HR person actually speaks. No? There's that kind of gentleness and also that kind of
Neutrality?
diplomacy or neutrality.
Neutrality.
So
Oh,
you become
neutrality.
diplomatic. No?
Right.
So as an HR person, I've learned over the years na the best way to actually get a person's heart is to through peaceful means. No? You don't have to force. You don't have to implement anything very negative to person. So you have to recognize that the person is actually a good person in this case. No? So that's my principle in discipline. Na, but of course, if the person insists that the negative behaviors still appears, then of course you'll have to put in a different hat. Because obviously the person cannot be handled by simple means. No? So you'll have to. That's where I think the wisdom of HR comes in. That you don't have to always be nice, but you always have to be firm.
Firm, yeah.
So if there's something that happens, you have to be firm that this is what I have to do because the company or the organization mandates me to do so.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's stated in step number 6. Yeah.
Six.
And then finally, step number 7 is where how do you properly finalize the employment? No? So this talks
Finalize.
about cases where you have to end the employment of the person, like resignations, terminations, or
terminations.
exits.
Yeah.
So because in my experience, this is one of the painful areas for a lot of employers, because a lot of times they don't do the right thing in terms of letting the person resign. Because one fact of organization is that when a person comes in, there's always an exit. Okay? There will always be time that the person will exit. So that's a reality. So you'll have to deal with it. So in my book, I clearly stated what you have to do in case a person resigns, or if you have to finalize the employment of the person, what's the right thing to do. So
Right.
it's very important that you fix that so that you'll have a good reputation as an employer. At the same time, you maintain good relations still with the employee, despite the fact that the person resigned, the person probably was terminated, if at all. So that's again going to the principle of HR that you
Right.
maintain good human relations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Despite
Burn
everything.
bridges,
Yeah.
Yes.
I would
So-
just like to ask, does this also include the end of contracts, the tenure of somebody?
Yes, it includes what you have to do to be able to address different types of separations.
Okay.
And then in step number 7, definitely, as I've said, I've included forms that they can use in terms of how to end the employment. So like the quit claim, the waiver, etc. So
Different
all of
forms.
those forms,
Right.
they need to know and they need to be able to fill up. So that they can also defend their organization from legal suits, if at all. Yeah.
Yes.
So more or less, those are the 7 steps that I summarized in.
So pwede isa-isa natin ulit siya. Sige.
Yes.
Number 1.
So okay, so that you can remember, I'll try to mention the keywords.
Okay.
Because in the book, I
Keywords.
try to look at the keywords. So step number 1 is labor law.
Labor law.
Labor
Okay.
law,
Step number 2 is pay.
pay.
Pay, okay.
Okay. Number 3 is benefits.
Benefits.
Ooh, benefit.
Number 4 is new employees.
New employees.
Okay. Number 5 is training.
Training.
Number 6 is leading and motivating.
Okay.
And then number 7 is finalizing employment.
Okay.
Finalize.
So
Finalizing.
more or less, those are the words that speaks about the 7 steps. No? So for all those questions, more or less, I answered it again with a local touch, putting in what needs to be done
Right.
in the voice of an HR person. No? Because a lot of times when you read HR books normally written by lawyers, it really sounds
Legalistic.
legalist. At the same time,
Intimidating
intimidating
sometimes.
sometimes.
And
because-
the terms are highly technical, if I'm
Oo,
not
medyo
mistaken.
highfalutin pa nga. di ba?
yes.
Yes.
So I tried putting
Lamanized.
putting a different flavor for it, so
Yes.
that any person or any entrepreneur can actually understand or get to ask questions also.
I highly recommend this book. I still haven't read them, but by just listening to Sir Ronnie Turla, who's also a certified HR professional,
Yes.
CHRP.
CHRP.
That's the certification I'd like to get very, very soon. Very, very siksik yung discussion niya. And these are the minimum.
In just a few minutes, ang
Yes,
dami natin
these are
natutunan.
the minimum. These are the minimum, but they are already in itself somehow complete and
Yeah.
very, very comprehensive, I would say.
Right.
Yes.
These are the basic things that every entrepreneur should know.
Yes.
And I suggest that school managers should get this book.
Mhm. No,
Yung-
naman.
Kasi sa mga
Especially
sa mga
principals.
I'm sorry. Sa mga small schools, they don't have an HR department.
They
Some
don't.
small ones. So managers should get this book so that they would know. I was once a principal and you know how difficult it is. One of the differences rin na intindihan ng mga school principals and even the employees is that in the school setting, in the education setting, it takes 3 years before one is tenured.
Yes.
Ganun katagal.
3 years.
Yes.
So it's different compared to how it is in the other industries,
Oo
in the
nga.
other sectors.
Correct.
But in education, you need to teach for at least 3 years.
Yes.
If this is a TESDA school, it's either 6 semesters, or if it's a trimester, it should be 9 trimesters
Wow.
before one is going to be considered as a tenured teacher.
So the one who plays the HR, the role of the HR is yung principal.
Usually
Or
yun na yung nangyayari.
Okay.
Usually yun ang nangyayari. Unless of course meron silang assistant principal, and sometimes they have a treasurer, they also have other members of the board that might also be taking 2 roles at the same time.
Okay.
Yes.
But nevertheless, for small schools, walang HR
The principal
department.
talaga.
Kailangan the school manager, school
Yes.
administrator should know the minimum.
Yes.
And yun rin kasi, alam ko rin na a lot of times ang daming mga teachers na either nawalan ng interest sa pagtuturo, sometimes because managers of schools do not also know, or school leaders. In fact, eto na rin, nag-evolve na rin yung term. Instead of school managers, school leaders na yung tinatawag nila. With the emphasis of visioning, following a vision para sa school system. So, ganun, yun yung kulang. That's one of the things that is lacking in the school setting. So, if we have school managers, school leaders who are also knowledgeable about HR processes, that would really help their business. And for school teachers in the public school system, even if there is a separate human resource department or mga officers, it's also very, very important for you at least to know the principles of human resource management.
So grab a copy now.
Yeah.
No?
Yes.
Actually, just to react to that, no, just listening to what you said, because in terms of my consultancy, I cater to different industries and categories. No? So that's why I'm also listening to the people who are reading some of the ones who bought the book, and there was some interest actually in the education setting to actually write. So if I really get the time to be able to write something, I'd like to have an edition that's really specifically for school
Schools.
HR. So, but it will take me some time to probably research and do some groundwork about it.
customized.
Yeah. So, but if given the chance, I'd like to write something on that line.
Sir Ronnie, suggestions for your book 2. I'm quite sure you're going to be adding another book
Yeah.
here. The onboarding process is not only going to be for 1 week or 2 weeks or
Yes.
1 month. It
Yeah.
takes a minimum of 6 months.
Yes.
Even before the entry.
Onboarding pa yan,
Yes,
Yes.
onboarding pa
Yeah.
lang yan. And stay interviews are also very, very important. Kasi ang nangyayari, tinatanong lang natin yung employee pag-exit na ng
Oo nga.
employee.
Naku po.
Stay interviews should be done regularly so that we will also be able to, yung parang barometer ng
Yes.
employees,
Right.
so that we will be able to know how they're feeling and they can give feedback. One of the problems ng mga employees and even teachers is that they cannot respond, they cannot give their opinions to the higher ups.
Yes,
So that's
for-
very important, yung
Yes.
feedback.
For fear of reprisal
Yes,
or
that's correct.
any other.
So, yung strategy, yung mga operational or tactical operations ng HR, maybe the book 2 can also talk
Yes.
about
Right.
strategic HR.
Yes.
Yes.
Yun.
How
am-
and where
And even the HR, and even the employer branding.
yeah.
Actually,
Kasi
I was
employer
thinking of that
branding.
earlier. Sabi
Yes.
ko, maganda yung 7 steps niya. No? It talks about the baseline of HR. But I was looking for the system. I mean, yung how do you integrate the 7? Because the programs of HR must be interconnected or aligned. Like for example, you talk about onboarding, it has to be be also in alignment with employee discipline and et cetera, et cetera, and the culture of the organization. So I'm just not sure if it was tackled in the book.
Well, intentionally, I didn't tackle that because I wanted to
Yun
write
yung book
another
two. Yeah, okay.
because I felt that if I integrated that in just one, because this is a first publication, so I wanted to test the water. So once I get the feedback about the reception of the book, then definitely I will write a follow-up about it, because I'm listening to the entrepreneurs who actually gave me feedback, and they gave me ideas of what to write next. So
Right.
yeah.
Something to be excited about.
Yes.
Yes,
Gerald,
me too, I
let's
wanted to-
invite Sir Ronnie again for another session.
Oh,
Yes,
definitely.
definitely.
Aspects of also
Correct.
managing the human capital of schools,
Yes.
but we don't have
Tama.
much time
Yes.
anymore.
Teka,
We have
pero how can we purchase the book?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
you can purchase the book right now. I'm doing personal distribution, so you can get in touch with me through my Facebook page, which is
Okay.
Talent Reach.
Talent
you just
Reach.
search for it in Facebook, or you can also connect with me through Facebook. In my Facebook page is Ronaldo Turla, so you can just leave a message, and then I'll get back to you on how I can deliver it personally. No? So I use a courier for delivering, but at the same time, I have a deal with National Bookstore, so it's about to be released this month. So it should be available in certain national bookstores before the end of the year. So
Sir Ronnie,
Yeah.
count me in. Order na ako ng
Yes.
isang libro.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for your
for the
interest.
copies.
Thank you very much, Sir Ron.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Mr.
we
Ron.
will
Thank
now be going to the next segment of our program,
Yeah.
and this is one
The newest segment,
Yes, this is one exciting segment, because we have been thinking of having this segment for quite some time. And tanong na kasi ng mga tao, bakit tayo magdi-discuss ng gender and development? Now, gender and development is actually one of the programs of the government. It's a mandated program. And even sa schools natin, mandated din yung gender and development. Yung planning nga sa mga school year na mga school managers will include yung gender and development program talaga. And that's the very reason why we have integrated gender and development as one of the segments here at Voice of the Teachers. And we're very happy that someone has accepted our challenge to be the segment host of Oh My God.
Yes.
Oh My
OMG.
God for Gender and Development.
Yes.
GAD. OMG. Pero yung G stands for GAD,
Yeah.
which is Gender and
And
Development.
development.
Yes.
So, we would like to welcome our segment host for this afternoon.
Miss Giselle Barion.
Good afternoon, mga katropa. Ayan. So for our second segment, ito nga yung launching segment ng ating show, no? The first topic is entitled God 101, Understanding Gender Sensitivity in the Workplace. Of course, we have invited a very esteemed speaker, one of the best speakers or point person for God. But before we introduce her to all of you, I have a short trivia related to our segment. So here it is. This is my assignment to Gerald. These are statistics based from Philippine Statistics Authority, a fact sheet on women and men in the Philippines for their 2018 data. So alam nyo ba na, yan, so mas tumatagal daw ang buhay ng mga kababaihan kumpara sa kalalakihan.
Ganun pala
Really?
yun?
Yes. Sabi dito, the projected life expectancy at birth of women is 75.9 years old, or rounded off to 76 on the average, no? While men naman daw is 69.6 or 70 years old. So mas tumatanda daw or mas matagal daw ang buhay,
Buhay ng babae.
ng mga babae sa lalaki.
Ano reason daw?
Hindi ko alam eh.
One of the reasons, actually, that's one of the discussions that I had. And
Marami
some of
Even
mga,
in life
marami
insurance,
mga
may ganyan
biases
sila eh.
dito eh.
Nako.
No,
Opo.
it's not so much of the biases, but there are also a lot of men who are exposed to risks.
Oh,
and that's
and
also the
diseases
pati
too?
sa trabaho,
Sa
occupational
work
risks.
occupational risk, and that's also the very reason why bumababa. It's not so much on gender bias, but also because of lifestyle. Lifestyle factors. You will notice na karamihan sa mga lalaki umiinom, naninigarilyo.
Possible.
At saka,
So that's also another,
mahilig sa matatabang
But
pagkain.
I should not be discussing this. We have an expert who's here who will be able to really credibly discuss.
Correct. Meron mamaya ko siya
correct.
introduce. Oo. Actually, sabi nga ni katropang Bobby, tama yung sinasabi niya. No? Yung iba naman, ang sinasabi nila, the reason daw is that ang mga lalaki daw, hindi daw kasi emotional by
Yun,
nature.
I was about to say that.
Ang babae daw, mas expressive.
Yes.
That leads to them na mas mahaba buhay nila kasi mas lesser stress.
Yes.
Iba
Mas
yung
nare-release nila yung nararamdaman nila.
Yung emotion nila yun. So meron ako mga 6 na trivia. No? Pangalawa, mas maraming kababaihan daw kaysa kalalakihan ang nakapagtatapos ng high school at kolehiyo.
Oh.
However, kahit mas maraming mga babae ang nakapagtatapos, ay mas marami namang lalaki ang nakakakuha ng trabaho kaysa sa mga babae.
Oh.
At sa bawat 4 na nahalal na politiko, isa lamang dito ang babae.
Oh.
At mas maraming babae ang nagtatrabaho overseas or tinatawag nating OFW kumpara sa lalaki. At ang huli, sa mga nare-report na mga kaso ng violence against women, nangunguna ang mga kasong pisikal na pananakit.
Aray ko po.
So, these are related to gender sensitivities, no? But we will not be preempting our discussion with this because trivia lang naman to introduce our segment. Okay, so joining us this afternoon for our second segment is no other than the President of Gender and Development Secondary Level Coordinators and Focal Persons for Department of Education Division of Quezon City. She's also a GAD or Gender and Development Trainer of Quezon City GAD City Council and the Department Head of Values Education of Ramon Magsaysay Cubao High School. No other than Ms. Gloria Valdez Bien. Good afternoon, Ms. Bien.
Okay, good afternoon po.
Good afternoon.
It's
Good afternoon.
Yeah. I'm good. It's my pleasure to be here.
Would you like to tell us, ma'am, paano, before tayo pumunta dun sa meat ng ating discussion for this afternoon, no? Paano ho ba kayo na-involve dito sa GAD? Or paano ba kayo napabilang dito sa advocacy ng GAD?
Okay. Since I'm a values education teacher, GAD or Gender Development is one of the component na add-on to our subject. So, though it's an add-on, it's our privilege because gender and development is really a part of the values of every person.
Right.
Kung alam niya ang pagpapahalaga niya sa kanyang kasarian, sa kanyang sexualidad, mas mapagtitibay niya ang kabutihan niya bilang tao.
Oh.
So, it long started, I think, way back 2010 or 2011, wherein programs and trainings and seminars are already conducted or were already conducted sa Division of Quezon City sa Department of Education po.
Okay.
So, eventually, nagkaroon na po ng pagbubuo, which is a mandate, bumuo ng GAD focal point system sa bawat paaralan. Na kung saan, ito po yung aktibong isinasagawa namin sa bawat paaralan, na kung saan kami po ay gumagawa ng mga programa upang magkaroon ng information dissemination sa mga estudyante, mga kasama sa kaguruan, mga magulang, and more so sa komunidad.
Okay po.
Alright.
Ms. Bian, before po tayo pumunta dun sa mga programa natin ng GAD, no? Let's define muna ho, ano ba ang GAD or Gender and Development?
Okay, I would like to define gender and development on the perspective of the Quezon City GAD Code. Since I would like to know for your information na ang Quezon City po ang pangunahing syudad o lungsod ng ating bansa na namumuno sa pagpapalaganap ng gender and development, wherein this pertains or refers to the development perspective and process that are participatory and empowering, equitable, sustainable, free from violence, and respect for human rights in support of the determination of the actualization of human potentials. Ngayon, sa perspektibo naman po sa Department of Education, ito po ay inaatas kaugnay ng child-friendly school system na kung saan kinakailangan bigyan ng proteksyon ang mga kabataan more than sa kanilang kalusugan, kundi more so sa kanilang pagkatao, sa kabuuan ng kanilang pagkatao.
Okay.
Yun po ang malawak na kaugnayan na dapat i-intensify ang gender and development sa ating lipunan, sa ating paaralan more so.
Nabanggit niyo po yung sa Quezon City, no?
Oh, sorry.
Ano ba yung mga programa ngayon ng GAD sa Quezon City?
Okay. Ang latest po na aming pinopromote ngayon na kung saan nagkaroon po ng series of training sa mga kaguruan ay ang pagkakaroon ng safe cities. Yung ang tinatawag po natin dyan ay kung saan yung sabi nga mahal ang mambastos sa QC. No? Kasi yung anti-catcalling na tinatawag na bawal yung sumipol or bawal sumutsot or ganyan. Meron pong kaugnay na kapatawang parusa para dito. At mapalad po tayo na tayo sa Quezon City ang isang pangunahing na lungsod na ito ay ipinopromote kaugnay ng UN Women. So sa pamunuan po ni Mayor Herbert Bautista, tayo po ang tinatawag na role model for safe city. Kung kaya't ini-empower naman ang mga guro kung paano mabibigyan ng proteksyon ng mga kabataan sa tamang aspeto na bibigyan sila ng kaukulang paggalang. Hindi lang limitado sa paaralan kundi sa komunidad. Kaya po ang mga LGUs, ang mga barangay GAD focal system o point system ay meron din pong mga training. Ito po ay isinagawa sa Quezon City Interactive Center ng Division of Quezon City sa DepEd for a series of consecutive according sa district ng kabuuan ng Lungsod Quezon.
Okay. Paano po natin masustain yung mga programa na ano yung kailangan na suporta natin from our government para masustain yung mga programa ng
Okay
ng
po.
GAD sa Quezon City or sa iba pang lugar?
Sige po. Okay. Ayon sa batas po, may mandato po na ang merong 5% na kaugnay na budget na inilalaan ang bawat supposedly institusyon, lalo na po sa paaralan. And it is mandated, I think so, likewise for the private companies, not only in public. Sa public, more so. I think sa inyo nakita ko meron dito sa kanyang God Corner, may bulletins and activities kayo. So last time po, sa pamumuno ulit ng ating Lungsod Quezon, Herbert Bautista at ang kanyang God Council, City Council, nagkaroon po ng Gender Summit na kung saan nag-invite po tayo ng mga private institutions na kung saan sila ay binibigyan ng mandato na especially kanina yung ating guest kanina na bago ma-hire ay magkaroon ng training tungkol sa gender and development para sila ay mabigyan ng protection as according to the Magna Carta Law. Ganon din, sa kabuuan ng isang company, dapat aware po ang mga each member of the shall we say the employees from the top officer down, kailangan po kasi ito ay isang karapatan ng pangangalaga ng ating pagkatao through gender and development. Yan po.
Message po natin sa mga nakikinig.
Okay. So, good afternoon to each and everyone sa aking mga co-GAD advocates.
Yan. Marami nakikinig ng mga teachers pala ngayon.
Hello po. By the way, happy World Teachers Day. Kahapon po ay nag-celebrate kami ng ating pagdiriwang.
Saan nga ba ito, ma'am?
Ma'am, sa Araneta Coliseum. Opo. Through the sponsor of the Jerry Rojas Foundation. At kami ay binigyan ng aliw at kasayahan ng ABS-CBN.
Wow.
Dapat lang.
Iyon po. So, ang aking pong apila ay sana po ay through the respective school heads sa kaugnay ng paaralan na pagpapalawig ng programang ito ay mabigyang kaukulang budget mula sa MOE. Ito po ay kabuuang budget ng bawat paaralan na kung saan ay ialat ang 5%. Kasi po ito ay malawig ang magiging tulong, hindi lang ngayon, lalo na sa mga elementarya, kasi mula elementarya, sekundarya at even in SHED, mandated din po tayo. Na sana po ay palawigin ito sa pamagitan ng pagbigay ng sensitivity, awareness, no, capacity building sa mga God focal persons, na kung ano yung dapat nilang bigyang pansin. By the way, sa Department of Education po sa aming lungsod, sa Division of Quezon City, meron po kaming mga manuals na kung saan kinatagorya namin ang God-related cases na patungkol sa gender discrimination, sa sexual abuse, sa etong the HIV, shall we say, the STI, na kung saan ay dapat magkaroon sila ng kamalayan ito. Hindi naman ito eventually nakakahawa, no? Pero meron tayong kailangan dapat na kumbaga protection, kamalayan, kung paano maiiwasan ito. Okay.
Sako pa rin to ng God advocacy.
Opo, opo,
Yes.
yun.
And we will be discussing all of these in the next sessions that
Yes.
we will be having.
Okay.
Can we invite you again?
Yes.
Yes.
Ma'am
Yeah,
Gloria
sure.
Bien?
Actually,
Yeah.
yung mga sinasuggest na nga si Miss Bien na next
Opo.
guest daw
Yes.
natin.
Very good.
Oh.
Yeah.
And-
Para sabihin naman nila, baka sinabi lang ni Ma'am yan, pero meron po tayong mandato.
Yes.
Kung paano isasagwa to, mas mabuti na malaman nila and from a very reliable person na kung saan part ng Quezon City God Council ang pwede nating invite.
Okay, so we will continue our discussion with regard to Oh My God next month. We
Yes.
hope that si Ma'am Gloria Bien will still be able to join us, and we will
okay.
make sure that we will be able to have more. We
More
will allot
time.
more time so that we
Yes.
can really discuss the mechanics, hindi lang mechanics, yung program mismo.
Correct.
So, before we go, we would just like to greet all of our listeners. Si Miss yung better half ni
Nakikinig siya ngayon.
yes.
Oo. Tsaka yung mga
Mr.
taga
Ryan.
Rosa Susano, hello! Marami nakikinig sa atin ngayon sa Rosa Susano
Yes.
School. Maraming fans si Ma'am doon eh.
Ay, gano'n. Salamat.
On behalf of Dr. Ray Samson, this is Bobby Ancheta,
Trainer Gerald.
And Teacher Jet.
Giselle Barion.
and we are
the voice of the teachers.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz. Balita, impormasyon at musika. AM at FM pinagsama. Ito ang Katropa Radio. Iba tayo.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa 1134 kHz. DWDD Katropa Radio. Iba tayo. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.